Warning: the following stream contains flashing effects which may trigger discomfort or seizures for those with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to RPG Capper, the channel where we cap RPGs of various design. Coming to you live from the Soul Dimension where the ball caps live and the CO2 bubbles never stop rising. Today's game, Dragon Warrior. The cap, level 30. Our current level, 26. Let's get started. Okay, before we get started, I just got to adjust myself here. That's good enough. Okay, copy for security purposes, and let's get on with it. $4,000 points as the limit for the next level. Current level 26. Strength 117, Agility 105, maximum HP 164, maximum MP 153, attack power 157, defense power 102, Erdrick's sword and armor as the weapons and armor respectively, and the silver shield as the shield respectively. All stats in the triple figures. 65,529 as our current purse stands, and 50,000 points for our current standing experience amount. Alright. So, today will be the final stream for Dragon Warrior. We are going to bring our hero up to the cap of level 30, kill the Dragon Lord, and save the kingdom. And just tie this game up with a nice, neat bow in the end. So, what I'm going to be doing is the following. First, I want to run a couple laps around the Dragon Lord's castle to see how things fare in terms of level grinding. Then I'm going to try again with the slime fields and just do another comparison check to see if there really, once again, is any major difference between the amount of time it takes to build up our hero, to level up our hero, that is. Now, it does look like that the rough time frame, the rough amount of time it takes to level up your hero at this stage late in the game is 24 to 25 minutes apiece. But I'm going to do like one more experiment since we are already on the home stretch in terms of the leveling process. And honestly, we might as well have something to do to pass the time. And actually have some good objectives put in place to handle the final 4 levels for this game. Anyways, while I'm doing this, might as well just iterate how things have been between Friday and today. So, visited my dad during the weekend. He and I did plenty of other stuff, such as shop for groceries, cook some good meals, watch television, also have to check his blood pressure and everything. usually how older kids care for their families, especially at an older age. I mean, once your parents have gone into have become full senior citizens, yeah, then you just pretty much visit them. You just pretty much visit them every week or two just to see how they're doing and just take care of them for a bit. But even though my dad is still pretty much cognitive in terms of decision-making process and getting things done around the house, but I still just have to help him with a few other things around the house just to make sure everything's all good on his end. But as soon as even though he has dementia, I mean, it still hasn't fallen to a point where he's completely incapable of making his own decisions. But I have to keep a close eye on him to make sure that he doesn't fall too far afterwards. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to arrange for a home care agent for him. But that's pretty much about it. I mean, he and I still have our disagreements politically, but I guess that's to be expected from someone of his age. But anyways, I don't want to get into politics because we don't really want to cover that here on this channel. At least not to an extensive amount. Okay, I can one-shot a werewolf, that's good. Also, while I was visiting my dad, I also had a chance to talk with my sister and her husband online over Facebook chat, since I haven't spoken to them in nearly a month. But we've actually had a good chat about things. I mean, just explaining to them how things were going around here, or how many things might going on their end. I mean, they didn't do much of anything for Valentine's. They just simply sat around in the house and watched TV. And they also visited some of their families also beforehand. So basically, nothing too much has happened in the past month between my dad and my sister and her hubby. But that's, you know what, that's fine. Maybe not everything has to be exciting every single day. Well, so I'm pretty much coming into this stream here, fully loaded on pancakes, because I had pancakes for breakfast. My roommate made a good heaping batch of pancakes. Enjoyed a good breakfast, and now all set and ready to go to help close off Dragon Warrior here. Oh yeah, and also, sometime pretty much either today or tomorrow, I have to fill out a 3-hour assessment that OFE had assigned to me. So that's a homework assignment that I gotta do. And once that's done, then I'm just gonna be emailing them my results, and we'll see how things are gonna go from here on my next meeting with them on the 27th of February. Gotta keep my fingers crossed, and I still haven't heard anything back from the barcade regarding that cleaning position. I'm kind of also hoping I'm gonna get a job with them, but I'm still filling out that assessment, dang it. I mean, you gotta keep the hope up. That's all you can do, keep your hopes up. Alright. Let's get this guy put to sleep, and he will not be put to sleep. Not lovely. Alright. Put to sleep and killed off. Man, Okay, Erdrick's armor is such a convenience because now... Because as long as I have it on, I don't need to use the heal spell as often as I did before. So at least I can save my MP for more important spell usage, such as Sleep and Stop spell. The two key spells in this game. I mean, the status effects are pretty much everything in Dragon Warrior. I mean, it can affect you just as much as it can affect the enemy. And you do not ever want to be put to sleep by the enemy because you're a sitting duck. But at the same time, if you actually put the enemy to sleep, that makes them a sitting duck, which makes it easier for you to wail on them. And best of all, the enemy isn't going to wake up immediately as soon as you strike them while they're asleep. Unlike in some other RPGs where they could pretty much wake up at the sudden strike of a sword or any other weapon. But one thing I will give fair criticism to for this game is every time an enemy casts sleep on you, the result will always be successful. And you actually have to have at least one roll on your end to determine whether you're going to wake up from the spell or not. But the initial cast is always successful from the enemy. And while the initial cast on your end isn't always going to be successful, there's no 50-50 on you. There's no 50-50 on the enemy's end in terms of their initial success rate on their cast, while there's a 50-50 chance from on your end. So that's another drawback that this game has. Although I'm not sure if this is just something that was tinkered by Nintendo of America, or no, not Nintendo of America, but rather Enix of America. Because every time some of these games get brought over from Japan, there's always going to have to be extra edits to be done to align with Nintendo of America's policies. And Nintendo of America's policies at the time was very clear: no religious symbolism, no sexual references or any other suggestive references, no nothing. And then remember, this is pre-ESRB era. And during the pre-ESRB era, it was pretty much left to the discretion of the publishers, or rather, and the licensors, to determine whether a game is not going to have any specific content. Now, some games do slip through the cracks. I mean, Castlevania II Simon's Quest, for instance, had all of its religious references slip through. Well, almost all of them. I mean, there was still some censored dialogue such as "believe in magic and you'll be free" instead of "believe in God and you'll be free." But other ones, but religious symbolism like crosses and churches and holy water references, those made it through. Plus, also for a game like this, I mean, it also tends to use a lot of Toriyama-esque humor. So, and Akira Toriyama used a lot of suggestive humor in his works, such as the famous Puff Puff sexual play. And there is a reference in the original Dragon Quest where one of the townspeople in the town of Remolder says, "No, I will not give Puff Puff." Whereas in the US version it was changed to, "No, I have no tomatoes today." Unless they want to imply that the tomatoes are a slang term for a girl's breasts in this game. I mean, I guess we may never know the real answer in regards to that. But if it wasn't for the fact that I had to look up a reference guide to symbolize what was changed between the US Dragon Warrior and the original Japanese Dragon Quest, I would have never have known that. And I think that's kind of like the point, because when censorship happens, I mean, you're pretty much, the intent from the censors is to patronize the recipients by being presented with a version of a show, a game, or a movie, what's not, that could be passed off as the original intent, but is not the real original intent. It was only the intent that was changed to suit the interests interests of the licensees. And Dragon Quest, sadly, it did not escape the chopping block. So even though Dragon Warrior in itself has censorship, surprisingly enough, there's also some parts of this game that have been greatly improved from the Dragon Quest original. One of which being the your main character sprite. And in the original Dragon Quest, the sprite for the Dragon Warrior himself only shows him facing southward, while facing the camera while waving his sword back and forth. That's all his character design will realistically do. Whereas in the US version, the warrior's design was considerably improved. So now the warrior can face off in 4 different directions. And not only that, there are specific sprites that show whether the warrior has been equipped with a sword and a shield. So if you have 2 swords, if you have a sword and a shield, the animation will reflect that. Or if this warrior has only 1 sword and no shield, that will also be reflected in the animation. As we did it with just 1 shield and no sword. So the sprite design was considerably improved, while his original character still looks pretty much similar to that of the original Toriyama design. So that's a nice touch. I'm actually glad they didn't fuck around too much with Toriyama's original artwork. See, this is what I've been stating. Every time you try to cast sleep on the enemy, the initial cast may or may not succeed. Whereas every time the enemy casts sleep on you, the initial cast always succeeds. And then it's up to a succeeding dice roll to determine whether or not your character is gonna break from that status. It's a major annoyance, but unfortunately that's just the way the game is programmed. And this is just the way the game will always be. I mean, remakes of the game in recent years have fixed this issue, but the original Dragon Warrior is notorious for this drawback. Now, another thing I also want to touch base upon with the design of this game is the fact that the world map, or rather the kingdom map, has some more improved looking designs. So, for instance, in the original Dragon Quest, the rivers do not have detailed banks or beaches to them, whereas in Dragon Warrior there is a design. The design added some river banks to the edges, which is a nice touch. And if you were to take 1 point of damage, or an enemy takes 1 point of damage, it refers to that as just by the singular, simply by the singular and not the plural. Which is also a nice key little design, which is not really necessary per se, but it's a fine attention to detail that provides a little bit of extra professionalism to this game. And I guess maybe Nintendo pretty much might have been more gung-ho by the American programmers to fix this, because I guess they wanted a role-playing adventure to look as pristine as possible to their Nintendo Entertainment System. But sadly, during this time, role-playing games were given a very bad rep, mostly in part due to the whole Dungeons & Dragons controversy that stemmed from the satanic panic of the 70s and the 80s, and also a little bit into the 90s before that got killed off by the grunge movement of the 90s. I mean, I'm not 100% certain on that one, but the satanic panic definitely played a part in RPGs being given a very bad rep in America. Even though RPGs are very much cherished in Japan, so which led to the creation of a lot of I guess I'll have to say this, JRPGs or Japanese RPGs, which provided more deep and intricate stories compared to the arbitrary scenarios given in Western RPGs. Even though I'm not a particularly big fan of the term JRPG, because I still think that at the end of the day it all boils down to does the RPG have characters, a plot, stats, and dice rolling mechanics in battle, or any other situation presented to the main party members. But I'm well aware that it is now considered a common term among pop culture, just like other terms like Metroidvania and roguelikes. Even though I pretty much don't like the terms myself, but I can accept the fact that people like to use those terms. But in any case, then it's like, there you go. And honestly, because of and I do believe that because of the satanic panic, not just tabletop RPGs, but I also think that that maybe sales of this game, that may have also affected sales of this game initially to Nintendo, and honestly, or maybe the game itself was just too difficult to understand with the common players who would rather just control sprite and have a move from left to right to get to his destination, such as with Super Mario. I mean, RPGs do require some deeper level of understanding of mathematics and resolution and the calculation resolution to battle scenarios, or the resolution of particular events that face party members, which can generate either status effects or in piece of dialogue from other thinking characters to the party, and vice versa. But I'm not sure now. It could pretty much have been the result of the satanic panic, or it could have been the result of the mechanics being too complex for players to understand. This is pretty much the point that I'm going for. But if we are going to still deal with the satanic panic here, it's like, basically what happened was, like, back when tabletop RPGs were becoming the big thing, such as Gary Gygax's Dungeons & Dragons, suburban America at the time couldn't put two and two together over the real purpose of these RPGs, and automatically dismissed them as devil worship devices, such as that of Ouija boards and the like. And what people usually don't understand, they automatically associate with the devil, even though there's no correlation between the playing of RPGs and satanic worship. It's just, you're just playing with characters on a board, you're throwing dice to determine outcomes based upon certain conflicting situations, and you assign rewards or penalties based on the result. That's it. What exactly is the devil's practice here? Plain old-fashioned math? You basically have games that require the use of mathematics to resolve, to resolve events. So when it comes to mathematics in school, it's okay, but when it comes to games like Dungeons & Dragons, oh no, it's satanic, it's not good for our Christian children to be engaged in. I was like, okay, first of all, you guys are, this is America, for crying out loud. And also, or even Canada, based upon where my real-life equally voiced counterpart lies. are you guys not, are you not a free, are you a free country, or are you not a free country? And I'm sorry, if you are a free country, the playing of tabletop games like this and the playing of video games like that are just part of the constitutional rights that are bestowed upon you based upon what your founding fathers intended. This is just another example of that, and all of a sudden, just because you don't understand, all of a sudden it's the tool of the devil. I mean, well, I'm sorry. I mean, the Constitution doesn't become. The Constitution isn't just only when it follows Christian principles and only Christian principles. But sadly, from the 70s all the way to the early 90s, this was pretty much the mindset from a lot of paranoid helicopter parents who were afraid that kids are joining cults, when all they're doing is just playing a freaking board game. And of course, all that really realistically did was drag Christianity's name through the mud as a result. But you know what? Long story short, people got over that bullshit, and thank goodness for that, because honestly, the Satanic Panic was a black eye on American culture at the time. And and sadly because of it, we had to put up with a lot of needless censorship towards a lot of pulp culture at the time, just to appease the paranoid parents. Pardon the alliteration. Now, if people want to discuss with me further about this little matter, I mean, feel free to join in on either my Discord channel or the next time I'm streaming live, and we can pretty much cover this a little bit more in a little bit more detail. So yeah, thank goodness we got over the Satanic Panic. Otherwise, games like this may not even be allowed to exist, and you know what? A lot of RPGs would not have been released in English here in the West. Dragon Warrior could have been an unfortunate sacrificial lamb towards the barring of future RPGs, if it wasn't for the fact that people finally smartened up and knew better about how RPGs really played. So I am getting low on magic, so I'm gonna go back to Remolder and rest up. And of course, if RPGs were banned, the RPG capper may not have his own streaming channel. There would be no RPG capper, so I wouldn't be able to start my channel and put together the theme of capping RPGs as capping RPGs as a theme. Well, pretty much as the ongoing theme of this channel. Okay, they're all running scared. That's good, that's good. Well, the more they run scared, the faster I can get back to the Isle of Dragons. Right back to the Isle of Dragons we go, and another lap to be run around the Dragon Lord's castle. So it looks to me that by going to the Dragon Lord's throne room and back, I can earn roughly 2,500 points. So I would pretty much have to run a couple of laps between the Dragon Lord's castle and back in order to level up one level. Some enemies cannot be one-shotted. Thankfully, I can one-shot a werewolf and a green dragon, but it doesn't look like I can one-shot an axe knight, and I sure as hell cannot one-shot a stone man, because stone men have very high HP. Good thing axe knights aren't giving me as much damage as they did before. Whoops. So, also last night, I was checking out one of my followers' streams. So in this case, I was checking out Zolfar's stream, and he was playing an interesting game called Lunar Dragon Song, based upon the Lunar Silver Star series. Now, this game has a bit of a reputation among fans. Now, if you don't know about the Lunar series, it was a video game RPG series done by Studio Alex in Japan, and pretty much chronicles the story of a set hero and his plot device lover counterpart, who are tasked with saving the world from growing evil that can threaten. That can pretty much, like, well, not really just, well, yeah, well, I guess it would be too much of a spoiler if I reveal this, but anyways, you're talking about a main protagonist and their lover plot device, who are pretty much just tasked with, stopping an ever-growing evil that, could also threaten the powers of the goddess Althena and her dragon master servants. But Lunar Dragon Song is supposed to be the very first story in that series, and unlike previous games, which actually make use of exploration with many different party members in a fully adjustable battle environment, Lunar Dragon Song does make use of characters operating in some kind of a diagonal plane battle system, similar to that of the Shining Force series, but the game's mechanics are horribly designed, and you actually have your characters who are subject to missing the enemy a lot, or unless they place certain booster cards to help them attack the enemy or inflict status effects on them, or have bolstering status effects on yourselves. Enemies could pretty much easily bolster themselves at your expense with in a short time period, which makes the battles very unbalanced. And also, when you execute the run command in the game, it costs hit points to use, and you cannot pick up any money by defeating monsters. You actually have to do parcel delivery jobs. And then you get paid for fulfilling your deliveries. So it's a pretty interesting way to implement the system, but the game itself is very janky as a result, because some parcel deliveries are impossible to pick up because of you need specific items in order to fulfill the task, and you have to fight enemies to get those particular items, so that then apply them to your parcel, which will then have to be delivered to the recipient. And And then you may also have to deliver the parcel to the recipient, like all the way from one end of the map to the other, which may involve a lot of walking, a lot of backtracking, and it just wastes your time. Also, I mean, the game was also designed in that you can only run away from battles if you blow into the Nintendo DS microphone, because Lunar Dragon Song was made for the Nintendo DS, but the game itself, again, it wanted to implement a feature that if you blow into the video game's into the device's microphone, it can help you run away from battles. And that's the only way to run from battles, is just by executing a run command by blowing into the microphone. But sometimes the microphone doesn't always work, and a run command doesn't always work, and as a result, players are kind of left stuck fighting a battle. They're pretty much risk being pot-shotted by the enemy while they're desperate to run away from the battle. And of course, it was Game Arts that pretty much had programmed the game, published by in association with the original Japanese developing company, published by Ubisoft and licensed by Nintendo for play on the Nintendo DS. And Zolfar was just struggling through this game last night. I mean, it was just agonizing for, not only for him, but for everybody in the chat to see him play through this game, because I mean, he's the biggest Lunar fan around, and he's named himself, like, after the final boss of the second Lunar series of Lieutenant Lunar Eternal Blue. That's just how much of a fan he is, and even he hates Lunar Dragon Song. But it's still an RPG, and one of these days I may have to tackle this game just to help cap it, just so I can have some material for the channel. It may be a long time before I'll probably be playing this game, but I'll be playing that game eventually because I do love the Lunar series to death. Anyway, we leveled up to 27, so here's what we've been awarded with. Power increased by 8, speed increased by 2, hit points by 8, magic points by 6. Okay, so 3 more levels to go. Oh, I guess I'm now... Okay, so it looks like Stonemen don't give me as much damage as they did before. Oh, they're just doing chip damage to me now. That's cool. Okay, I was a little reckless there. I should have used heal more. Thankfully, he did not preempt me. If he had preempted me with sleep, that would have been bad. And I'm still asleep. As long as I can stop his spells, that's the important thing. But now I gotta use this again. 33 points of damage even at level 27. Holy smokes. Okay, we're gonna endure this because we need to get to that final level, because that is what RPG capping is all about here. Okay, 72 points of damage is not bad. Okay, so I 3-shotted a Stone Man, that's not bad. So my character is already a powerhouse, but remember, the theme of RPG Capper is to cap RPGs. It is my hobby, that's what I do here, and I'm perfectly content with it. And he cooks me like a goose. Thankfully, Edric's armor reduces that goose cooking by a third. Thank goodness for Stop Spell. Wasn't for Stop Spell, it would have been a nightmare to have to try to fight this enemy and the Armored Knights. Better not play fuck around and find out with my health. I'm just gonna use this. Alright, moving on. Okay, 3-shotting a stone man. With the size of their hit points, that's pretty good. But I think maybe by level 30 I should be able to 2-shot a stone man. We'll see. I really wish the spell would work upon first use. Remember, this game does not give a shit about how high your levels are, or how major or how big your stats are. You're still subject to the same 50-50 roll mechanics when it comes to status spell casting, be it sleep or stop spell. That is one of the other drawbacks to this game, next to the fact that the enemy can successfully put you to sleep upon initial cast. Let's get some radiance put back into this here castle. $55,000. We're now at 55,000. are getting low on MP, but we're not in the danger zone yet. Alright. One encounter after another. Okay. You know, since we're pretty much on the subject of Dragon Warrior, I kind of want to touch base with another thing. So after Dragon Warrior is done, you probably might be thinking, am I going to keep playing the sequels to Dragon Warrior, such as Dragon Warriors 2 through 4 on the Nintendo, and even cover the Dragon Quest games for the Super Nintendo? The answer is yes. Now, it's Dragon Warrior 2 will not be immediate. I still have another... I just want to keep the... I just pretty much just want to keep the variety going in a steady fashion. So once we're done with Dragon Warrior, we're going to be switching off to another turn-based RPG to fill the gap that'll be left over from the completion of Dragon Warrior. Because my policy has always been, every week it has to be at least one turn-based RPG and one action RPG. So just to keep things nice and fresh around here. So Dragon Warrior 2, and I hit the wrong spell. Alright, 2 shot of the Star Wyvern, that's good. So at some point, Dragon Warrior 2 will be tackled. But it won't be happening immediately. There is another turn-based RPG that I have lined up for the turn-based slot after Dragon Warrior is finished. Just like I'm gonna have another turn-based, just another action RPG set up once Legend of Zelda is completed. Now, Legend of Zelda I'm expecting to finish on Thursday, so that means for this week I'm gonna have two games officially done. So it'll be Dragon Warrior and Legend of Zelda, which will leave some slots open for me will leave some official slots for me to fill. However, I'm also want to spruce up my streaming channel as well to ensure that it has oh my god, I can't put together proper grammar. I just don't know why. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is I do need to make some adjustments to my streaming channel so that it'll look a little bit even more presentable to my to my viewers than last time. Now there might be some sentence fixes I have to do for my placeholder images, and I also need to start uploading my stuff onto YouTube because it is starting to get to the point where I'm having a lot of videos up and not even a single video staying up on YouTube. I want to put my stuff up on YouTube, but I also need to put up specific thumbnails for those videos on YouTube because the thumbnails that I have for my Twitch channel do not meet the dimensional requirements do not meet the YouTube's dimensional thumbnail requirements, and it's a pain in the ass, but unfortunately, I guess that's going to be a bit of extra work for me. .43 points of damage, and he still lives to put me to sleep. Thankfully, he can only do chip damage to me now, because I'm a frickin' powerhouse. 56,000 experience points. That's what I want to see. I want to one-shot a Magic Wyvern. The Warlocks are running scared, that's good. So I got Magicians and Warlocks running scared, but Wizards do not run scared. I guess all the minions within the castle of the Dragon Lord will maintain a brave front, even at the level cap. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. Check my quick. Nope, I have no other additional items, and all my herbs and magic keys are at full capacity. Okay, there's another thing I wanted to touch base on. So I had a new follower from last stream, named Celestial Kind. Celestial Kind, thank you very much for your follow, very much appreciated. And I kind of hope to see you, on RPG Capper whenever it goes live. So Star Wyverns can only do chip damage to me. That's awesome. As a matter of fact, since we have leveled up to 27, let's check our stats. 125, 107, 172, 159, 165, 103. Okay. Our strength continues to go up. We can pretty much dish up even more damage to our enemies. And finish off these battles much faster and rack in that experience much faster. Points of starting damage, pretty good. But he can only chip damage me with his little axe. So, just by going through the Dragon Lord's castle here, it doesn't necessarily appear that I'm conserving a lot of time from leveling up. Now, while I'm getting a decent variety of enemies to face to help me build up my XP meter considerably, it still feels overly cumbersome here compared to that of the slime field. So on my next level, I'm just going to return to the slime field and just grind to level 30 over there, because I'm just not feeling it over here. .56 points of damage and they still stand. I'm not too worried about the sleep spell cast by Axe Knights because they don't seem as potent compared to that of the Red Dragons. Okay, one shot at a blue dragon with a natural 20. That's nice. Yep, these blue dragons are no match for me. Up to 57,000 points. So 980 more points to go before we move on to the next level. Spell will not work. How typical. And you can still dish out 30 plus damage to me, which is pretty damn impressive when my character's at level 27 here. But you do get a cool 100 points of experience from it. I'm gonna heal more because I don't want to gamble. That 30 plus damage is no joke. It's one dragon after another here. Yeah, you know what? They might end up giving me a crit damage. I mean, I guess I could have survived that hit, but you know what? Not playing F around and find out with these red dragons. Never a good idea. Oh, I love my critical hits. I love my critical hits. And we've leveled up. Five air increased by 5. Response speed increased by 8. Maximum hit points by 5. Maximum magic points increased by 5. So it's pretty much just 4,000 every level. I guess we don't really need to see the talk to the princess or need to see the king in order to determine our next XP goal, but I do still need to save my progress, though. But you know what? I just want to draw. But I do want to get out of the Dragonlord's castle first and foremost. Also, let's take a look. Okay, so the next goal will, we're still up for another 4,000 points. So the next goal will be to 62,000 points on the XP meter. I need to like Radiant over here because it's just a beeline to the stairs. This one I do need Radiant for. So 2 more levels to go. Oops, not this way. Nope, couldn't one-shot the dragon that time. Oh well. Alright, up to 59,000 points. First things first is I'm gonna go spread stuff at the inn. Let's save our progress so far. Fly away, Wyvern, just fly away. Okay, now we're gonna spend the next couple levels in the slime field and see if it's just more convenient to be here than it is in Charlotte Castle. Personally, I think it is, but I just wanted to test one more time. I don't want Demon Knights, I want Metal Slimes. Let's get on with it, man. Let's have ourselves a few Metal Slimes here. Alright. He was pretty... He held out quite a... That previous night held out quite nicely, I might add. And Demon Knights can only do a measly 1 point of damage. Remember that time, guys, when Demon Knights were a force to be reckoned with? And they can do double-digit damage to me every single time? Oh, those were good times. Those were good times indeed. And you know what? I don't even need to worry about casting spells anymore. It's just will on every enemy that comes my way. And one shot a Wraith Knight, nice. But no Metal Slimes. I'm not having some good luck with Metal Slimes today. Maybe I need to go into the hills or something? And they're running away. How quaint. You know what, if I'm not going to be getting any Metal Slimes out of this, I mean, I'm just going to be tempted to go right back to Charlock Castle. 60,000 points. We have now surpassed 60,000 points on the XP meter. I am absolutely hornswoggled here. Okay, now we finally got the metal slimes. Took these bastards long enough to appear. Guess maybe they headed for the hills when they realized I was coming. Alright, at least we're getting somewhere now. Alright. Getting to the 61,000 mark. But there's no steady distribution of metal slimes this time around. I mean, last session I had more common encounters with metal slimes. It's supposed to be a 1 in 5 chance. Alright, 60,184. And they've ran away again. So I guess maybe I have to stick with the hills or something if I want to force these guys to appear. Alright, 61,000. This would be so much more convenient if I had more metal slimes to face. Okay, getting out of the hills into the field again. Alright, we should be getting... Come on, let's have a metal slime already. Maybe there could be one over here? Come on. We're getting close to the 62,000 mark here, but still, this could be done a lot faster if we had ourselves a metal slime to face, but there is no metal slime to be facing. Oh, now the metal slimes have become very elusive in this last part of the game. That's a bitch move coming from them. So it's like Demonites, 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 Magic-Wyvern, Demonite, Knights, Demonites, more Magic-Wyverns, another Demonite, then you may get a metal slime. And then the metal slime will just run away from you. Then it's back to more Demonites, then more Magic-Wyverns, then a Wraith Knight, then more Demonites. And this dick-headed rando just keeps on going and going and going. It doesn't give you that. I mean, that's just the fun. That's the thing about these old RPGs. You're never given the enemies you want. There's an enemy you want to face, but they don't give it to you, and you're just stuck facing the enemies you don't want to face, but you have to face them anyway because you need the XP. Gotta love old school RPGs. You gotta love them. Alright, we're nearing 62,000. Alright, level up. Power increased by 5, speed by 5, hit points by 5, magic points by 9. Here's what I want to do. First, I'm going to return. Then I'm going to rest up after a long day's grinding. And save the game. $3,519 points. Now, it's really supposed to be 3,565 points because 1, 2, 3. Well, the reason why it's 3,565 is because it is supposed to stop the counter at the final digit of the unsigned integer variable. Because as stated many times before, both the XP meter and the gold meter are assigned the variables of related to that of an unsigned integer, which means that the starting value will be 0 and the final value is 65,535. So as soon as we hit 65,535 experience points in a similar manner to the gold, to the 65,535 limit on the gold meter, that will conclude our grinding. We'll be at level 30, and the warrior will be capped. Then the only other recourse will be to end the game. And Wolf Lords are running like bitches. So, let's bring it on home. Let's just bring this bad boy on home. Wake up, you dummy. "24 points of damage to a metal slime. Oh, what a difference a few levels make." I'm gonna take a look and mind this. Okay, so 135 strength, 120 agility, HP 182, 173 MP. Attack power 175, defense power 110. Cool. Awesome. Don't run away. I just want to face nothing but these metal slimes. If I could do just that, level grinding wouldn't be such a pain in the ass. $63,000 points. Guess I have to stop this guy's spell. Give me my metal slimes, give me my 115 XP, that's all I'm asking for. Oh, come on. 52 points of damage and it's still flying? I mean, I just want to one-shot these enemies. I don't want to have to give them more than one hit. Well, the excellent move's an excellent move, but I still want to still be able to one-shot them with just my standard rolls. I mean, we're already at level 29. Come on. There's no excuse for this anymore. See, that's what I'm talking about. $64,000 points. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, this stream's almost approaching the 2-hour mark. Probably by the 2-hour mark, we'll officially be at level 30. Now, it doesn't have to drag on this long, as long as I can get my metal slimes to fight. But nope, they do not want to dispense me to metal slimes this much anymore. Getting the jump on me only to give me 9 points of damage. How sad. Nearly there. We are already less than 1,000 points from cap. And he runs away. It runs away. Oy, 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 oy. Alright, we're not giving up. We're gonna bring this into the home stretch. 65,000 points. We should be getting very close now to that cap. That's what I want to see. Let's have more of these metal slimes. There we have it. The final level. My power increases by 5, speed by 10, hit points by 9, magic points by 9. Okay, first let's rest up. And save. I am greatly pleased at Thou's return, RPG Capper. Thou art strong enough. Why can thou not defeat the Dragon Lord? Will thou tell me now thy deeds today won't be forgotten? Thy deeds have been recorded in Imperial Schools of Honor. Dost thou wish to continue thy quest? Yes. Go mine down. Take RPG Capper, take care of him, not the fates. She still says that she loves you. Anyways, stats. Alright. The final stats for the game. Level 30. Strength 140. Agility 130. Maximum HP 191. Maximum MP 182. Attack power 180. Defense power 115. Weapon Erdrick's sword. Armor Erdrick's armor. Shield Silver shield. We cannot progress the meter past 65,535 points, and the king has declared that we are strong enough. On these grounds, I'm going to declare this game capped. Alright. With that being accomplished, The only thing left to do is to go slay the Dragon Lord and win the game. Oh, and here's something we can do. RPG Capper, this is Gwaylan. Know that thou have reached the final level. So now the princess has confirmed it as well. So both the king and the princess have confirmed that you have reached the final level. There's no room left for dispute. Alright, back to Charlock we go, and this time we've got a bit of a date with the Dragon Lord. Let's just repel the enemies one more time, because at this point they are just nothing more than cannon fodder at this point. Until we get into the Isle of Dragons, that is. As you can see, the meters, both the XP and the gold meters, do not increment. That's it. Everything is fully capped. Nothing but a pack of werewolves being thrown against me now. I mean, it's all for naught. They're cannon fodder to me now. And I can one-shot him in an Axe Knight. Cool. These minions are no match for me. I'm still gonna cast Stop Spell just in case. 17 points of damage. Okay, yes, red dragons are now easier to deal with. But they can still dish out some good double damage here. Okay, he can still hit me for 20 plus damage. And 30 plus damage even though I'm at level 30. So these red dragons can still hold their own pretty well. At level 30, that's impressive. If this game knows what's good for it, it's gonna make that spell work. Okay, let's get ourselves fully healed up for battle. And, okay. Looks like we're good to go. Hello, Mr. Dragonlord. It's your old pal, the Warrior. Welcome, RPG Capper. I am the Dragonlord, King of Kings. I've been waiting long for one such as thee. I give thee now a chance to share this world, and to rule half of it if thou wilt now stand beside me. What sayest thou? Will this great warrior stand with me? Ooh, that's a good tempting question. Half of the world in exchange for service. Should we say yes? Really? Maybe we should say no. Thou art a fool! A Dragonlord draws near. Command. Well, let's engage. 68 points of damage. Nice starting hit. Two-shotted the Dragonlord, but it's not over yet. The Dragonlord revealed his true self. Command. Doesn't have been 26 starting hits, but he does 30 to me, like his red dragons. 35. He burns me for 44. Ho ho ho! Even... That's pretty damn worrisome, even at level 30. 25 points of damage. Cooks me for 44. You know what? Let's heal more. Even a single hit, 39 points. Well, his razor-sharp claws can cleave through my armor, but Erdrick's sword is supposed to cleave through his scales. So as you can see, even at the final level, you're still going to be given a significant challenge by the Dragon Lord. Now, I could bring up the guide to look up his stats, but I don't see what the point is, because he's the final boss. Once you beat him, you pretty much have won the game. And the Dragon Lord have been slain. Thou hast found the Ball of Light. Remember the Ball of Light, what we were instructed to do at the beginning of the game? Radiance streams forth as thy hands touch the object and hold it aloft. Across the land spreads the brilliance until all shadows are banished and peace is restored. And we've been whisked back to the surface. Now, as you can see, now we can glide through the hills easily as if it's nothing. And now we can walk across the land, and not even a single encounter from a single enemy, because the Ball of Light banished every last minion on the face of the kingdom. Dragon Lord's dead as well, so he has no minions to summon. But what do the people now say? Hurrah, hurrah, long live RPG Capper. Thou hast brought us peace again. Hurrah, hurrah. So as you can see, the locals will just use either one of two pieces of dialogue. They'll either hurrah hurrah me, or they'll mention that I brought them peace. And that's pretty much it. It's honestly no different with any other NPC. Now, normally I can just cast Return and just go right back to the castle. But we had a hard-fought victory, so let's just enjoy our little walk back to the castle. As you can see, there's no enemies inside the cave either. They aren't just banished across the land, they were also banished underneath the land too. So you can go in here, and it's the same dialogue across every town and game. So it really doesn't make any difference which town you stop in. They're just gonna give you the same, either one of the same two lines: "Hurrah, hurrah, long live RPG Capper," or "That was probably peace again." But now that we're in the castle, here's something else. Come now, King Lorkawix. King Lorkawix. So they're just gonna say the same thing. Come now, King Lorkawix. Some NPCs are not there anymore. Oh, the Keysmith is not there anymore either. Okay. So it's the same thing for the other NPCs in the castle. They just go say, "Come now, King Lork awaits." The legends have proven true. Thou art indeed of the line of Erdrick. It is thy right to rule over this land. Will thou take my place? RPG Capper thought carefully before answering. I cannot, said RPG Capper. Oh, look at this, the hero can actually talk. If ever I am to rule a country, it must be a land that I myself find. Waylon said, please wait. I wish to go with thee on thy journey. May I travel as thy companion? No, but thou must. May I travel as thy companion? No, but thou must. May I travel as thy companion? No, but thou must. May I travel as thy... You really want to go, even though you're supposed to be next in line to the throne, bitch? Really? Well, it's quite clear that you're not going to take no for an answer, even though there's no point in asking me a yes or no question here. But anyways, I'm so happy. And thus the tale comes to an end, unless the dragons return again. Sound the trumpets, for victory has been achieved. Congratulations, thou hast restored peace unto the world, but there are many roads yet to travel. May the light shine upon thee. Well, technically it's peace to the kingdom, because the world's much more greater than that. But whatever, let the game have its way. Dragon Warrior Staff. Scenario written by Yuji Horii. Character designed by Akira Toriyama. Rest in peace. Music composed by Koichi Sugiyama. Programmed by Koichi Nakamura, Koji Yoshida, Takanori Yamamori. CG designed by Takashi Yasuno. Scenario assisted by Hiroshi Miyooka. Assisted by Rika Suzuki, Tadashi Fukuzawa. Special thanks to Kazuhiko Torishima. Translation staff. Translated by Toshiko Watson, revisited text by Scott Pell, technical support by Doug Baker, programmed by Kenichi Masta, Manabu Yamana. CG designed by Satoshi Fudaba, special thanks to Howard Phillips. Directed by Koichi Nakamura. Produced by Yokinobu Shiya. Based on Dragon Quest, copyright Armor Project, 1969, Bird Studio, Koichi Sugiyama, Chunsoft, Enix, 8689. Enix. Classic Enix logo. The end. Well, gang, that's Dragon Warrior for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, normally I can call a session right here, but you know what? I want to show you guys what happens should you accept the Dragon Lord's offer. Because this is the good ending. There is a bad ending too. So let's just give the game a quick reset here. So what we're going to do is head back to Charlock and see what happens when you do accept the Dragon Lord's offer. And it's a pretty weird effect. Alright. Fending off the riffraff, back to Charlock Castle. So as you can see, repel repels to an extent, but cannot always repel every enemy. Alright, a little bit further down each time until we get to the Dragon Lord's chamber. We're almost there. Okay. Well, here's something you can do. You can even talk to the Dragon Lord across this throne as so. So here we go again. Welcome, RPG Capper, Dragon Lord, King of Kings. I've been waiting long for one such as thee. Give thee now a chance to share this world and to rule half of it if thou wilt not stand beside me. What sayest thou? Will the great warrior stand with me? Yes. Really? How about another yes? And half of this world is thine, half of the darkness, and thou dies, I can bring thee back for another attempt without loss of thy deeds to date. Thy journey is over. Take now a long, long rest. But as you can see, the Dragon Lord tricks you. He had never had any intention of making you his partner. He just wanted you to let your guard down so he could finish you off. And as a result, all of your golden experience is stripped to zero. And the game pretty much freezes in place without giving you the ability to make any additional commands. I mean, because technically your guy is permanently dead. And you're pretty much just stuck in place for eternity. So that's pretty much the bad ending to the game. But in any case, well, we pretty much have seen everything that we needed to see from Dragon Warrior, so let's get back to the bubble screen. Alright, everybody, let's just get back here. Okay. Appears like the bubbles have frozen behind me, but you know what, that's fine. So, that, my friends, is Dragon Warrior for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We've accomplished our cap of level 30. Got both endings to the game, both good and bad, and the game is now in the books. It's now officially in the books in RPG Capper. Okay, let's see, that stream took 2.5 hours. I would say that was a decent amount of time to get the game finished off. But in any case, it's now time to see who we can raid just before we close off today's stream. Let's get right back to our channel here and see who's available. Okay. Well, my friend Usterhaus is on, so let's just raid him.
Shoot the skull to stop it mid-end.
Okay guys, rate's been set, and for that I would say see you next stream, and take care and have a good one. Bye!